after my world record attempt, I started Earth Caretakers movement through Verde Vibes by Truphena. So Verde Vibes, Verde is a Brazilian Portuguese word to mean green or forests. So people they hug trees and then they capture that moment and share online. Yeah. So that's what we've been doing. And people are loving trees. Yeah. People are loving nature. So that way they cannot hurt nature. Yeah. You can do all this and still get disqualified. So yeah, you go there, they'll have like 3 months or 4, like 6 to 20 weeks to determine whether you do it or you won't do it. So yeah, mine took, I think, 18 weeks. Yes, my previous record, it took 18 weeks, but this one took like 14 days.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to yet another episode of the Diaspora Spotlight. This is the Kenya Diaspora Media. My name is Maria Njoroge. Today, I bring you a global citizen by the name Truphena Muthoni. I call her a global citizen because her efforts are recognized worldwide. And the reason for this conversation today is because she is a climate justice activist who is headed to Brazil in the next 1 month, and that is a conversation that we are going to have today. Welcome, Truphena.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, of course, my name is Truphena Muthoni, and I'm 21 years old. I am a climate justice advocate and a marathoner for climate justice, world record holder for the longest marathon hugging a tree, and your soon-to-be favorite tree hugger, world record on repeats.
Oh, wow, that's really impressive. Yeah. I know you have as many questions as I do, and I still did before I had a conversation in her. Hugging a tree. I mean, we hug a lot of things. We hug people, we hug animals, but this is quite interesting. And she follows a marathon record. The Guinness World Book of Record had different categories and people that do different things. Of course, we will get to the important conversation of where are we doing this, but for now, tell us about hugging trees.
Well, hugging trees, why hug a tree? So, hugging trees. So, first of all, in my previous world record attempts, I was, of course, trying to show people why they should save trees, because what people know is just like trees give us oxygen, trees give us fruits, but there's so much more that trees have in benefits. And I felt like if people knew about this, they would maybe probably appreciate trees and not cut them down, and also protect the green spaces within urban areas. So it was about mental health, because at the moment when I was attempting this record, there was so much mental health crisis across the world, and a spotlight to the mental health crisis that is directly linked to environmental degradation, like wildfires. Of course, there were in California, in Kenya, in Isiolo. So I thought actually it is a reality. Like those people who are direct recipients, or what do I say? Like people who are
directly affected
by these calamities, they have post-traumatic stress disorder. And I was like, if you go back to nature, you'll find healing, because actually hugging tree is therapeutic. So, and I'm inspired by my own story. I am a mental health survivor and I'm living with panic disorder. So yeah.
Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for being so brave to put this out there in the world.
Yeah.
And the conversation that I want us to focus today is climate change. It's a conversation that's happening everywhere in Kenya.
A lot.
President William Ruto was in the UN, was it last week?
Yeah, UNGA,
yeah. UNGA, for the Convention on Climate Change came, and I remember even our website did a story about when President Ruto took on the leader of the free world, when he said that it's not something to ignore or wish away.
Yeah.
Do you have a comment on that?
First of all, there's so much logging happening across all forests in Kenya. We have Ngong Forest, and the most popular one is the Karura Forest saga. And also, I visited Abadia Forest, and there was so much logging happening. So what I would say is, this is quite political, for real. Like, few people having selfish interests on the forests.
I'm quite curious. I think we need to go back to the beginning of how all this began. Like, to get it on here. How did we get here?
Okay, first of all, being a climate activist, I started around 2022, but I had started being an environmentalist as a 5-year-old. And what's actually shocked many people is that I don't really draw any inspiration from a person. So to me, I say it's a spiritual dispensation for real. And also a spark that was lit by Michael Jackson song called Earth Song. So it was in 2009 when I had that Earth Song, and I was really angry. Yeah, and I decided I'm going to be part of the defenders of nature. Yeah.
Okay, something that I might have forgotten to mention in our interaction is that Truphena Muthoni is an artist. She sings, and I think she brought her guitar with her today. And at some point in this interview, if I can convince her to sing one climate justice song, that would have been a win for all of us.
Yeah.
So she is a young person, and of course with that comes a passion.
Yeah, sure.
And the things that you do. And since you don't draw inspiration from maybe your family or the people around you, where does that come from?
It's actually what I said, like, it's spiritual. It's a calling. To me, it's a calling, very deeply spiritual. And also on the way, like that, my first calling was spiritual, of course. I can't draw any inspiration from anyone. Like, someone did this and I copied. I didn't know anything. I didn't even know it was environmental conservation when I was doing it. So like, I didn't decide, okay, I'm going to conserve the environment. I was already doing it before knowing what it was. Okay. Without knowing anyone in it. So that is spiritual. But along the way, I've found so many inspiring people. And one of them is Michael Jackson, for real.
Oh, that's amazing. So you said that you were 16 the first time that you hacked a tree?
I was 17, actually.
17.
Yeah.
Where was that?
It was in, oh my God, in Nakuru.
In Nakuru?
Yeah. I've forgotten the place, the name of the place.
That's not something people do. Like, you don't wake up and you're like, I'm going to hug a tree. So where does the conversation start before you get to?
I naturally am drawn to nature, and I've been staying inside nature. Yeah, I see. Even now, I'm staying in nature all the time. I have a park. Yeah, I mean, it's a riparian park where I stay, and I have been given some place to do my things there. That's why I had my trees. So like, but first when it started, also it was involuntary. Like, I didn't decide, okay, I'm going to hug a tree. So like, we were outside for a break. We had a session with the Rotaracts. Nakuru, yeah. Nakuru. So like, I stepped back, I was alone, and I decided to just hug a tree. Just like that.
So we've seen a tree, we've loved it, we've hugged it.
Yeah.
How do we go from there to World Record?
Well, so last year, I came across a post by Guinness because I also follow them. Yeah, I love seeing great things happening. So like, I came across someone hugging a tree, and it was a world record. Can I say his name? He's a journalist in Ghana. Yeah, Abdul Hakim. So like, he was holding a world record for his wasn't a marathon. So I'm the first person actually to hold a marathon. His was a tree hug. Yeah, thank you. It was the longest tree hug, actually. That's what it was called. The longest tree hug. So it was 24 hours, and I realized, oh my God. Yeah, I can do this.
So he did for 24 hours?
21 minutes, yeah.
21 minutes?
24 hours, 21 minutes.
Oh, 21 minutes. But you beat that record by doing it for 48 hours.
Yeah.
I'm curious. You see, when a marathoner, say Kipchoge, wants to do a marathon, he will run, he will, he'll practice, he'll build endurance.
Yeah.
How do you build endurance for that?
Well, first it's mental.
Okay.
Almost 100%. Like, I think, let me give it 90%. It's a mental exercise. And then, cause I wasn't eating, so I was fasting for a long time, or eating 1 meal a day. Yes. And also I tried for 48 hours to not have emergency bathroom breaks. So yeah. So that's how I practiced. And then I walked. So there's a day I walked for 42 kilometers non-stop. Yeah. And I had the tree for 12 hours. So that is part of my exercise.
So right now you're trying to beat that record of from 48 hours to 72 hours. Yeah. That's 3 days straight.
Yeah.
So is it is it biologically possible? Okay, I'm not trying to place a limit or even get in your head about what could go wrong.
Yeah.
But biologically, is it possible to go that long without,
Actually, it is not biologically. From what people say, from what medics say, to go for 48 hours without drinking water, without eating. So I did it. So yeah, I did it.
I get why it's a big deal because even when I try fasting, by the 12th hour, I am so angry at everybody. I am so mad.
Yeah. So actually I did it, and I know the risks, so you have to know them and you have to be careful and to love yourself, of course. So I love myself as much as I love the trees. So, but I'm also building endurance. You have to practice. It has to be inside you. You have to do exercise. Yeah.
So how are you preparing for this? Because it's like 3 weeks away now? No,
is it
4?
4 and some few days, yeah.
Sorry? 10th of
10th. I'll be hugging a tree from 10th to 14th.
14th.
Yes.
So how soon do you have to travel?
I have to travel maybe by the 1st of November at least. Yeah.
So you need 10 days in Brazil to practice and...
No. 10 days. Oh, yeah. Acclimatize.
Oh, acclimatize.
Yeah.
With the climate and all that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will get to that part of the conversation later. I still want us to go back to the beginning of all this passion and how it happened. How did you end up signing up for Guinness World Record? What did they check for?
Well, you have to, of course, you have to register. So I did it.
Can you tell me how to register?
You go to their website. You go search their website, then click on their website, and then you'll see, they give you the guidelines. Apply now, you have to create your own account. You have to have an account. Yeah, and you follow most importantly, you follow the rules. Yeah, you can do all this and still get disqualified. So yeah, you go there, they'll have like 3 months or 4, like 6 to 20 weeks to determine whether you do it or you won't do it. So yeah, mine took, I think, 18 weeks. Yes, my previous record, it took 18 weeks. But this one took like 14 days.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
For someone who's never really seen or been curious about this, how you've registered, they have accepted. Where do you go from there?
It depends on the nature of your record attempt.
For you, your record attempt is hugging a tree. You're killing it. Hugging.
The longest marathon, hugging a tree.
Longest marathon, hugging a tree. So walk us through the process of you registered. You have gotten accepted.
Yeah.
So do they send people?
Well, it depends.
Monitored or even...
they can send their person, but, and also they can have them online. They're called adjudicators. And also you have to go live. You have to be live non-stop. They have to see all the footage without breaking it. Non-stop. Like they have to see everything, every hour, every minute. Yeah. Continuous. So mine was live on K24 and Kameme TV. Yeah.
I think I do remember that because there was a lot of press around, and I even remember Ababu Namomba being very impressed about what you've done, and and I think the impression really was not about hugging a tree, it was behind the cause.
Yeah, the cause.
Like, why am I hugging a tree?
Sure.
So when people tell you, why do you hug trees? What do you tell them?
I tell them I hug trees to make people feel the pain of losing one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what other actions are you taking, aside
tree hugging?
Aside tree hugging.
Well, myself, I'm living a sustainable lifestyle. Like you can see my hair. Can you see it? Like these are wastes, yarn scraps. You can see their waste. I've recycled the green ones for almost 4 years now. The same here. I just wash it and then I take it back. And then also the colors are climate justice colors, and each color represents something. So black is for African power, protest, and resilience.
Okay.
Red is for indigenous resistance and frontline courage. Okay. Green is for reforestation, regeneration, and hope. Blue is for water protectors and ocean defenders. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. What were you guys doing at 21? Drinking yogurt and littering and, Tell us more about that sustainable lifestyle.
Yeah.
Those are active efforts.
Sure. So in my home, I have 3 bins to separate waste. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also influencing other people. Also, where I work, like where I have my space, my green space, I establish tree seedlings and I reuse the plastic waste milk bags, like Tuzo milk. Mount Kenya milk. I reuse them. Once upon a time, I used to take them from the garbages. Yeah, with kids. And then we'll wash them and then repurpose them into potting tubes so that we cut costs of production, but also it's almost no cost right now. So we are able to help others also take care of the environment by donating our seedlings to organizations and also people, individuals. Yeah.
To deviate from that a little bit, to bring you back to the plastic containers.
Yeah.
Currently, instead of using plastic to do agroforestry, maybe to establish tree seedlings, are there other sustainable options that we have?
Well, yeah. We actually have started to do something different, but it's not yet large scale. So we use bamboo. Yeah, bamboo waste. Bamboo trees.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because bamboo is a nice replacement for plastic as well because of its biomass. So it grows so fast, and you can reuse those bamboos to do so many things. You can cut them to create things that plastic won't, like kitchen utensils, and also you can use bamboo to as a potting tube. Yeah, for it. Yeah.
You cut the bamboo.
Yeah.
And then it becomes
a potting tube.
I really wish you would have gone to where you do all these things, because this sounds very interesting.
Sure.
So sustainable efforts, you don't do synthetic hair.
Yeah.
I'm very guilty on that. I have a lot going on in terms of synthetic hair, and then you doing sustainable waste disposal.
Yeah.
What are some of the practical things that people can do to make sure that they're reducing the amount of plastic that we put out?
One of them is to adopt for example, if they're using plastic in their kitchen, they can go for bamboo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because everything that plastic does, bamboo can do. Yeah.
So also, we are still discouraging wood because it's deforestation.
Yeah.
We're also discouraging plastics because it's not degradable.
Yeah. But actually, bamboo reduces pressure on forest products, for real.
Okay.
Yeah. Can create furniture as well.
Yeah, I recently learned that bamboo can build.
Yeah.
Okay, so wow, and all this is happening in Nairobi, because I think previously when I've seen people do afforestation, reforestation, and even regeneration efforts, it's in rural areas or semi-urban areas. There's a lot of concrete here. So how are those efforts really working out?
We have riparian lands around, so we use riparian lands.
Do you have to seek permission?
Yeah, of course you have to. You have to notify authorities that you're using that land. Yeah.
And how is the community receiving the initiatives that you're doing?
Yeah, right now, because so many people now are familiar with the conversations around climate change, so many people are receiving it well. Yeah. Of course, we have some others left behind, but we are doing well.
Okay. You did say that you've influenced people within the country and outside.
Yeah.
Not forests. Talk about that.
Well, yeah. So after my world record attempt, I started Earth Caretakers movement through Verde Vibes by Truphena. So Verde Vibes. Verde is a Brazilian Portuguese word to mean green or forests. So people they hug trees and then they capture that moment and share online. Yeah. So that's what we've been doing, and people are loving trees. Yeah, people are loving nature. So that way they cannot hurt nature. But also outside the country, I've built a really big, what do I say? A big network. Yeah, especially in Australia. But they just volunteered. They started to, influence kids to hug trees all over. And now we're connected to 10,000 kids in the 3 countries in Europe. But the founder is in Australia. She's called Maria Njoroge, and she's the founder of Kids Care for Climate. Yeah. So actually she'll be joining me for my next world record attempt. She's old, but she's going to hug the tree for 72 hours nonstop as me. But of course, in her own way, for her own safety, I advise maybe she sits down, she can use one hand, she doesn't need to endure all that. I don't know for real, but she's old. She's quite old. And so she has a network of 10,000 kids in her organizations, and they're going to join together. She's going to do it in the University of Perth in Australia. Yeah, in solidarity. Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So currently it's been almost a year now since I think
almost a year.
It's almost been 1 year.
Yeah.
Does it cost money
Of course it does.
Okay.
Yeah, and even now we are almost there, but we're not there yet. It costs a lot of money. Well, it could cost no money at all, but it depends on the scale, on your style, and also because, there are record attempts that goes for even 1 minute. But if you have a 48-hour record and you need to be live and you need a camera that doesn't stop, so you can imagine. So it's quite costly. But for me, of course, what costs only is to maybe pay for there's usually it's free, but you can pay if you need them to do it a little bit fast, like to review your record attempt in 5 days. It's called priority. If you pick priority services, you have to pay some cash. But if it's standard, then it's free.
Is it an amount that you're comfortable quoting?
Well, okay. It depends also still on the scale. Like for me, if it could be $650.
I did say she's a global citizen because once someone starts speaking in dollars in Kenya, convert.
Oh, convert? How do they convert now? Maybe around 84,000. Something like that.
That's quite an amount. So looking at it and the financial logistics of how these camps could be, do you have people that maybe come through for you to help you financially so that you can be able to achieve those goals?
Well, I'm not talking about this attempt.
Yeah, sure.
So for my last attempt, people came in large, but it was mostly it was in kind, but very valuable. Like K24 Community TV, it was free coverage for 48 hours non-stop. Free. Kenya Forest Service came through with security. So many of them, 48 hours, even the night, I have security. They have their, what they call it. Taking care of me for 48 hours. That is not something small. And also giving me a space in Mishuki Park. It's a Kenya Forest Service space. And no one, actually, they've never done something like that before because everyone should be out at 5, but they allowed me to go back and forth until 48 hours is over and to be there for me. Journalists, they were there all the time. People, creators, content creators, they were in and out. So so many people helped me pro bono. Yeah.
Oh, that's really impressive. Clearly, this is a big venture, and with the one that's coming on 10th of October or November, does it still need the same logistical support in terms of passports, visa?
More. It needs more, more. So actually, we need so much because now it's traveling outside the country. Brazil is very expensive, very expensive. Yeah, so we need a lot of support, but at least we've gotten some support in Brazil. People in Brazil are so good. They've supported me with the permits, for free. Yeah, getting me a place to hug my tree. They have done all that without me being there. Of course, that's good. Is it? That's a big support. And let me say I've gotten some support from Brazil, but we are still lobbying for support because I'm not going alone, of course. I need some people. You see this art mural? We have an artist who will be there. And let me tell you something about Guinness World Records. You have to submit a video, like I told you, but also you have to submit evidence. It's called, It's called a statement, witness statement, for example. So we're trying to get this artist who did this to be the first person in the world, in the history, to be the first person to submit their statement in form of an art. So they will be there just doing what they feel, what they see, instead of saying, I saw so-and-so coming in, whatever happening, she was hugging, she was sleeping. So he's a he, so he'll draw. He'll just paint all this, put his feelings on a canvas, so you can imagine. It's going to be amazing. But we need funds.
You need funds.
We need funds.
If we were to appeal to maybe the Kenyan community today and even those Kenyans in the diaspora and anyone who's passionate about climate justice and climate change, what would you be telling them you need and how can they support you as soon as they see this?
Well, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, actually. So for Kenyans in diaspora and Kenyans in Kenya, you're welcome to support this journey. So we have an Mchanga fundraiser. We have an Mchanga platform where they can fundraise. And also for Kenyans in Kenya, we have a pay bill that we've already shared online. Yeah.
when you do watch this video and when you do interact with the content and find out who she is passionate and she is young. This means there's a young blood and there's a young people of this particular age and this particular age group that are very passionate about climate change. It's a conversation that you're hearing globally because even leaders like Donald Trump and our president of Kenya and all the leaders around the world are very curious about how can we solve this problem. But we have one Kenyan here who's already taking steps and doing actionable things that we can track to actually solve this problem. So as we continue this conversation, we are going to study the mural that's behind us as she tells us what it is, the story that inspired it, and how it pieces this journey together. It's quite interesting, and I think as an art lover, all I can do is admire, but the storyteller herself can actually tell us what you're looking at.
Yeah. So actually, I'm going to tell you what you're looking at. So what we're looking at is the pain. It's a pain, the pain of the future, the pain of the people, the pain of the trees, the pain of our ancestors, and the pain of our animals. So this is Amazon. It creates a picture of Amazon rainforest. So this is what Amazon should look like. And these are animals that are at the risk of going extinct in Amazon. These are jaguars. They would go extinct if Amazon continue getting lost. So, and this is the wisdom. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about COP30. So COP30 will be having forest protection and indigenous knowledge at the center of the climate talks at COP30. So indigenous wisdom is represented by these faces of our ancestors here. And this is a majestic Samaoma tree that I'm going to hug. Actually, it's 300 years old. Samaoma. I'm going to say it in Brazilian Portuguese. It's Samaoma. But in English, it's okay to say Samaoma. So yeah, it's a majestic 300 years old. So it represents indigenous trees and the wisdom of our ancestors. And here is the contrast, the destruction that is happening. We have roads being built inside the Amazon rainforest. And this is this is what we should expect in the near future. Because scientists say 20 to 25%. If 20 to 25% of the Amazon is lost, then we risk having the rainforest collapsing into a dry savanna, and it will disrupt the global rainfall and also release massive carbon stores. And we are at 17% loss of the Amazon rainforest, 17% and rising fast. So the window to act is closing. And soon, actually, the Amazon is nearing the climate tipping point. So that's why it bothers us. It matters to the whole world. Everyone should just rise up for Amazon rainforest, for the trees, for the animals, for our children, for the future generations. We should rise for Amazon rainforest for real. Yeah.
You've mentioned something. You said that you can speak Portuguese.
I can speak Portuguese right now. I'm speaking the language of COP30. Yeah.
Okay, so tell us, protect the environment in Portuguese.
They know that. Protect the environment. A floresta. I don't know how to say protect. A floresta is forest.
Yeah. Okay. So basically that explains that explains the art. You did something when you said?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So can I explain a little bit about in Brazilian, Portuguese for audience in Brazil? Yeah, so hoje gente meu nome é Truphena, sou a atual recordista mundial do Guinness pelo maior tempo abraçando uma árvore 40 horas. Agora estou me preparando para quebrar meu próprio recorde. Abraçando uma sama por 72 horas durante a COP30 na Amazônia, no quilombo do Abacatal. Este é mais do que desafio físico. É uma homenagem às nossas ancestrais, à justiça climática e à cura coletiva. É uma ponte espiritual entre o Monte Kenya e a Amazônia. Obrigada. Yeah.
Wow. I have no idea what she said, but I'm pretty sure she's saying protect forest.
Yeah.
It's coming by. So we have just listened to a very interesting explanation of this mural that behind the story behind climate action and climate justice. So activist Truphena Muthoni, there are so many Kenyans that probably do not understand this conversation. Then what do you tell them today?
I'll just tell them that we are part of nature and we cannot run away from nature. So yeah.
Talking about not running away from nature, currently our president is championing planting of trees in their billions. I think there are even apps that are being,
like, yeah, mazingira welcome. There's a meeting. There's a meeting app.
Yeah. There's a meeting app that is there. Do you think that is enough?
Well, it's not enough, of course. It's not enough to plant. But it's why I don't know where the idea of planting trees came about. I mean, it's good to plant trees, okay, but we are fighting so hard to plant trees, yet we are cutting down trees. It doesn't make sense. It's easier to protect what we have already. And then, what people are doing? They are replacing indigenous trees with saplings and call that mitigation. Actually, I know people don't know what they're doing. So sorry to say. I mean, like, people should really understand the conversation deeply, including our president. But I know he's doing great, of course. We are doing good, but we need to do more and especially understand better what we're doing before we do it. And also, it's very important to know that before we plant 1 million trees, we must nurture 1 million hearts that care. And that's actually what is behind tree hugging. Like, you should care about the environment. You should love the environment before we start planting trees. Because if I'm doing all these efforts alone, it would not add up. Like, it wouldn't make an impact as if I plant 1 tree and 1 million people plant 1 tree. Each plants a tree. Instead of me planting, I've planted 10,025 trees already. Okay, yeah, people have planted more. I know kids who have planted more than that, but it's okay. 10,025 trees as an individual. What if every person in this country planted just 1? Do you see the impact where I'm coming from? So yeah,
in Ethiopia. Yeah. So you're talking about saplings, because I know we usually plant cypress, you plant eucalyptus, but the neem trees, the cedars, we're losing them.
Yeah.
So, like you said, you have a tree nursery. Yeah. Do you have the indigenous trees as well?
Well, I do have, but I also do mostly fruit trees.
Oh, fruit trees.
Yeah.
So fruit trees are also a good effort towards agroforestry.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How does, if you were to say you want the government to do better because the government is part of this conversation, how would they go around it? Because they are planting trees, arguably. So we're going to have Mazingira Day on 10th of October.
Okay, again, about planting, I feel like planting trees is not enough.
What's the right conversation?
The right conversation is to protect the trees that we have. For example, what we're seeing in our forests, like Karura Forest, let me just say it, like in Karura Forest, I understand that development should also happen, of course. Sometimes development forces us, like there's something that really matters. We understand as activists, sometimes a tree needs to be cut, for real, in some cases, but there should be very few cases. And then we look at what we call feasibility. What is the feasibility of this? Most of the time, what we are seeing, we're just seeing people who love concrete, who love money. Like, there's no feasibility at all. So let us try to make sense. Yeah. Let's try to make sense. Like, if you have to cut down a tree, let us see the feasibility. Let it be for our future generations. Let it be for our own good, like for the public good, and not selfish interest from few individuals who think they can control nature. They can't even control nature.
What are some of the problems that currently we are seeing with climate change in Kenya at the moment? Like, you see, the reason why this conversation is very far is because in the Amazon, it will burn, or maybe there's going to be a lot of cold. In California, there's going to be a fire. Yeah. What's going on in Kenya? Maybe too, the conversation is very far.
So actually, what I would say is currently we are experiencing imbalances, like unpredictable weather patterns. So like we in Kenya, all of us, but some places, you're talking about California, but even here in Kenya, we have in maybe a different place, just a few kilometers away, is raining. The other place is too hot. You see, like there's a time Kisumu was really raining, but here in Nairobi it's really hot. I'm not sure right now it's raining in Kisumu, that it's raining in Nairobi. I don't know. Yeah, we have that imbalances, unpredictable weather patterns, and it's something that is being brought about by climate change crisis. Yeah.
So the conversation about climate change and the climate action is not one that we can complete today. The efforts continue even after this video, because Truphena has committed to living a life of sustainability and a life that protects the environment. And as she says, it is not enough to plant 1 tree or even 1 million trees, but what would make an even more sensible conversation is protecting what we already have. So As you go to Brazil, you can tell Kenyans what to expect and wish them goodbye and where they can find you.
Okay, thank you. So do I look at the camera? Yeah. So as I head to Brazil, I carry the wisdom of our ancestors and the pain of our struggles to Brazil, because COP30 is where policies are made, where world leaders meet, and also companies that already are creating the crisis that we experience in the global south. So I'm hoping that my action and your support is going to make a lot of noise in our silence and inspire change and influence policies directly at COP30. So thank you so much for your support. Kenyans have supported me before. They are supporting me every day, and I love Kenyans so much. Thank you so much. And you will be watching, of course, when you follow me online. You can follow me online at Truphena Muthoni on all platforms so that you can see the progress and also know how you can view on live when I'm at Brazil in COP30, enduring for 72 hours non-stop for Guinness World Record, and to put out the message about climate justice and also forest protection, and also honoring the indigenous people of Quilombo do Abacatal in Brazil and all over the world. Indigenous people, indigenous forest, we stand up for the forest and hands of our forest. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for staying with us throughout that episode as we talked about climate action. It's been me, Maria Njoroge. This is the Kenya Diaspora Media, the Diaspora Spotlight, and this has been our guest, Truphena Muthoni, the global citizen. Kwaherini, I'll see you in the next one.